Good morning to the east or to the west coast. Good afternoon to the east coast. I'm Boomer Jim. Gen X Deontay is with me, and this is White to the Point, a black and forth conversation.
That's awesome. I'm here with the guy, and who knows what in the heck Boomer Jim is going to say today. But it's a plum pleasing pleasure to be here.
I'm going to hop over here on Facebook for a moment
Yeah,
and
I'm
make
looking.
certain this post is public so we can. I want to make certain that it's public so people can comment on it.
Oh yeah,
Let's see. Edit post, edit audience, public.
I'm tagging.
Yeah.
I'm tagging people.
So, right. Anyway, we're on both Facebook and on YouTube. If you join us on Facebook, please come over and find us on YouTube. We really need that. We need people to hit that like and subscribe button. Hit the bell for notifications. You can help contribute to Deontay's retirement fund if we can ever get this channel monetized.
That's hilarious. Boomer Jim, what the heck are we talking about today? What's first up?
Well, let's see. I believe you mentioned something about Hollywood blood sacrifices.
Yeah. Well,
I've gotten to the point where Hollywood, anything that comes out of Hollywood isn't that surprising. I mean, it can be possible, I suppose. I mean, you do enough drugs, you might you might do anything.
well, they call it Hollyweird for a reason, but I will tell you this: as a big fan of Hollywood and its history, I was told that there's some unsettling things going on in Hollywood with some of the biggest stars, and that encompasses the music industry as well as the television industry. So the Blonde Bombshell, the Missus, she was telling me all about these trends on TikTok that are talking about people like Jay-Z and Diddy and Kanye West all sacrificing their loved ones for the fame that they now possess. For example, everyone knows Kanye West's mom. She died years ago from a botched surgery. And so apparently there's this theory out that Kanye is a part of the Illuminati, and that's what they perpetuate. People do these types of things. Hey, sacrifice your loved one for this unbridled level of fame. And like I said, I personally don't buy into that stuff, but the world seems to.
Well, I got to thinking about it. I did look up a couple of stories on it just briefly, and all I can say is, for the most part, well, I'm glad that I wear boots. But I got to thinking about it a little bit, and I'm thinking maybe this is just a new form of the casting couch, especially when it's these guys involved.
Yeah,
I mean, none of these old white Jewish directors and studio owners are going to want to go out with them, so they take their female relatives instead.
right. It's anything is possible. But when you look at some of these things that some of these celebrities are doing, like for example, Diddy, the beloved Sean Puffy Combs, he is apparently in all types of hot water for beating and abusing people, including the musician Cassie, who has filed a massive lawsuit against him, but also raping people. He's been accused of rape and all this other stuff. Apparently, that's Illuminati driven, from what I'm hearing. So I don't know what's going on, but Puffy has been someone that I have admired for many years because of his business acumen and the way that he has been able to really turn the culture on its ear for 2.5 decades. But if this behavior is happening, wow.
Yeah, that's one of those things that, like I say, you can almost believe anything that comes out of Hollywood as being possible, but in reality, nah. I think it is one of the just another conspiracy theory.
Yeah. In other news, Lee Harvey Oswald did not act alone. I
Hey,
mean,
Epstein didn't hang himself.
right. It's humiliating, but whatever. Let Hollywood be Hollywood.
Exactly.
So another,
I mean, let them. And to be honest, that's the same attitude I have towards all of these movie stars and athletes talking about politics and stuff. So what? Who cares? What? I'm sorry. They don't know crap when it comes down to it.
yeah. Speaking of which, America's beloved Taylor Swift, who I happen to like. I mean, this is not sarcasm, but America's beloved Taylor Swift is begging, or shall I say, demanding, an apology from Kim Kardashian, who, with her then husband Kanye West, said some disparaging things about her years ago and publicly humiliated her and made it seem as though she was a liar about something. But Taylor Swift, for those that are the uninitiated, she was just named Time Person of the Year for 2023. And in this very lengthy article, very well written article, by the way, she is going off about how Kardashian really made her life a living hell by lying because she recorded a conversation between Taylor and Kanye, which was Kim's husband at the time. And she manipulated the audio of the conversation to make it seem like Taylor was lying. So, anyways, Taylor Swift, I'm just going to say, look, I think you're amazing. Your hair is second to only my blonde bombshell's hair. But other than that, I'll apologize for Kanye. We're sorry. We're sorry as Negroes for the things that we've done. We've been impetuous Negroes. We apologize for any harm that's come to you. Let Kim alone.
Well, you know that since you said that, now you're going to need to negotiate some kind of reparations with her to pay her for the harm you've done.
Exactly. I have to make sure that she gets her 40 acres and a mule back because this is embarrassing. Even though the $1 billion that her Eras tour has just grossed is probably not enough, so I have to give her also 40 acres and a mule.
Now, on the serious side of that, it does make you wonder. Yes, she's great and she deserves every music award out there. But Person of the Year? Really?
Well, I mean, she's dominated America. As a matter of fact, we have Alice watching right now. Hey, shout out to Alice. But
Hi, Alice.
so even though Taylor Swift is, I know it may seem a bit much that she'd be the person of the year, but I
Uh,
can see that because she's dominated the U.S. economy and popular culture this entire year. So
uh,
there's that.
I got to give a shout out to Timothy, who just came on. Uh, Tim is Just B with Under the Hood Productions here
Oh
in
wow!
Las Vegas.
Oh, that the guy that was at the dog place?
Yes. Well, Tim was doing the video. It was actually the cameraman.
Oh wow. Well, I listen. First of all, big shout out to anyone that's creative like that because there's a lot I can learn no matter how much I know.
Yeah, that's a saying I have. I can always learn something from anyone. I don't care how much they know, how many, or how little experience they have. It doesn't matter. They've got something to teach me, even if it's what not to do
Yeah,
or the wrong way to do it.
yeah. I've learned a lot of time. First of all, you can learn something from everybody. Like for example, from Charles Manson, I learned if you're going to tell people what you're going to do, make sure you issue a gag order first. You know, you know, because they might be your followers, but they're also not going to be your. They're going to keep quiet about what you did.
I don't think I don't think a gag order would do much good ahead of time like that. It certainly isn't doing much good for Trump.
Oh, Trump. You know what? Trump is. I'm telling you, he is he's an unbelievable genius. I've been saying this from day one. Nobody is more iconic. He's the greatest genius the earth has ever seen. Period.
I've
Point.
I've said all along that he is the greatest showman on earth,
Yeah. He's
possibly even greater than
P.T. Barnum.
PT. Yeah, possibly greater than PT Barnum. You got to give him credit for that. You
Yeah.
might not like him, but he pulled off a big one.
Yeah. I haven't seen someone completely obliterate the American psyche since Bill Cosby did it. He completely made you think he was one way and he wasn't. But that's a whole other story. Now, as far as your buddy Trump, his friend, his best friend Joe Biden.
People, please note that Deontay is the guy wearing the mega hat.
Yeah. but but as far as the sitting president, which is better for him to sit because apparently when he stands, he's not the best standing president. So maybe he'll be okay as a sitting president. So Joe Biden apparently has been biding his time before the nursing home kicks in. But anyways, I don't know. I was a big fan of Joe Biden before because he was the antithesis of Trump. To me, Joe Biden represented at the end of 2020, he represented someone that was the solution. And I ain't talking about contact solution. I'm talking about the solution to problems in this country as far as like this pervasive racism, at least the perception of it in the White House.
Okay. I thought maybe you meant a 7% solution.
Right. But as it turns out, we would actually have a lot better probably situation in this world if we had Betty White in the White House. And I'm talking about Betty White as she is right this moment. So it's really interesting. But apparently he has sent $200 in aid to Ukraine. So I mean, Ukraine is more well funded than Amazon. Okay, that's how good. And Joe Biden is doing it. I mean, can you imagine like doing that for someone outside of your household? What if your wife said, "I'm hungry," and you said, "Oh, honey, I want to go take this food to the neighbor's house"? Like, that would be kind of weird.
Yeah, the thing is, 200 million. That's pocket change when it comes to what's going on. The total amount of aid that's been sent, I think, is like 30 billion so far.
Yeah, he just sent 200 more million, is what I'm saying.
Right,
On top of what he
but
already.
yeah, but Zelensky is just here. They're trying to pass another $60 billion for them. Or actually, the total bill is 108 billion, with the bulk of it going to Ukraine, some of it going to Israel, and the Republicans are saying no, we're not going to pass this unless you do something about the southern border. And of course, the Democrats are getting all pissy and moany about, oh, you're holding it hostage. Well, gee, people, if we're going to send out $100 billion everywhere else, and we have homeless vets, we have an open border, we have families going hungry here in this country, don't you think you can spare a few billion for us?
Exactly.
I mean, and homeless vets, that's a subject that's near and dear to me.
How
And
big?
by the way, real quick, I gotta say this, Tim, you're actually absolutely right. There are dog shelters or animal shelters around the country, such as a Path for Paws. They are overflowing, and this time of year it gets only worse. Please, people, do not buy puppies or pets. Go to your local shelter and adopt, and please do not adopt if they're not going to be part of your family. A dog or a cat, they're not a Christmas present. They are a family member, and they will be with you for years to come. Another topic that's near and dear to my heart.
This is a public service announcement from Boomer Jim.
Hey, I'm sorry. Mark Twain had it right. The more I learn about people, the more I love my dogs.
Exactly. Except for when black people say my dogs, they're talking about Tyrone and Darnell. But anyway, at any rate,
what about Snoop? Come on, you got to include Snoop in that list.
right?
And dog's in his name.
Exactly. At any rate, so you said something I had never heard of before. So I kind of want to backtrack on that. You were talking about homeless veterans. How big of a problem is that?
It's big. I forget the exact number. I want to say like 20,000, 25,000, maybe more. But they're everywhere. And most of them do suffer from some type of mental stress or trauma. Almost all of them have got PTSD. And it's a crying shame. These men and women went served their country, did their duty, were made certain promises. They come back and they've got nothing.
Hmm.
I mean, it's not right.
See, I didn't
I mean,
realize that. I just kind of assumed that everybody kind of did what John McCain did. They was able to walk right into a normal life again.
no, and even the ones who do, they have a very difficult. Many of them have a very difficult time readjusting to civilian life.
Yeah.
You're never quite the same afterwards.
Is that what they mean when they say that someone is shell shocked?
Yeah, that's PTSD.
Okay, that makes
You
sense.
you just got you just went past that breaking point.
Mm, yeah.
Now I was fairly lucky. I was with the Navy. I served on board a carrier, so I wasn't in direct fire as such.
Yeah.
Instead, I was down in the engine rooms helping to generate the steam power to launch planes that would then go and kill thousands of Vietnamese.
Holy smokes! I can't believe they wanted to assassinate Vietnamese. Some of the Vietnamese women are hot.
Oh yeah, I love you long time.
But that's a different slant. No pun intended. Anyways, now there's a story
Oh,
coming out. There's another story coming out. It says Venezuelan migrants could soon create New York's first Little Caracas. That's interesting. And I guess I didn't realize that it was that many people overflowing New York City.
well, it makes sense. I mean, anytime you get a large enough population of any one group, you get that the little whatever c- communities spring up. That's like you get Koreatown, Chinatown, everywhere, Little Japan. I mean, you name it, you get a big enough population, it springs up. And Houston is Little Vietnam. Vietnam. Same thing in the Garden Grove, California. That's almost entirely Vietnamese. Has been since uh, late '80s, early '90s. There was a standing joke going around at the time that the last American out, bring the flag.
Wow.
But no, in Houston, southeast Houston is heavily Vietnamese. I think it's the largest concentration of Vietnamese in the country.
Well, I'm here to tell you that we're going to have to, in order to keep our safety and protect all of us, especially all of the big population of white people, we're going to have to become racist, more racist as a country. I'm going to tell you why. Because I'm looking at this article just came over the wire. It says
He
Texas.
said it, not me.
Yeah, it said, yeah. So you were thinking it, but listen. So it says Texas police arrest illegal immigrant and 16-year-old cheerleader Lisbeth Medina's murder. So apparently there was an undocumented male who they believe is responsible for the death of this woman, this girl, the 16-year-old girl, Lisbeth Medina, and it's actually Texas. So that sounds about right. Check it up. It's on Fox News's website. And what I'm saying is that when you see things like that, I think we're going to have to become more racist as a country in order to do this. Because I mean, how can we keep letting people come into this country undocumented and doing these types of things? I mean, that's not right.
Let's see, was it just last week they had a record number of people come through, or or illegals come in at over 3,000 in one day at the
Yeah,
Texas border?
yeah. So when I first saw that Trump was saying let's build a border wall, I was like, this guy is like the ultimate white supremacist. But like I was thinking that Trump has more than just a hood to his car that in his collection of hoods. But as it turns out, I think Trump was onto something because I mean, look at this. The southern border is really a cesspool of possible terrorism. I mean, even Ellis Island, off the coast of New York City, that has a lot of security and protection for us.
Okay, and there you actually touch on the real problem. It's not that we're having Hispanics immigrate in or other groups of people. No, the idea is we don't want illegal immigration. It needs to be controlled. People need to be vetted. We're getting quite literally hundreds of thousands of people coming in every year. We have no idea who they are. They don't get vetted. They get past the security checkpoints, and they're in the wind, as it were. It's almost positive that there's been people associated with terrorist groups that have come in through our southern border. It's, I mean, it's impossible to say that there hasn't been. In fact, they have. I was listening just the other day. They have caught people who are on the watch lists, the terrorist watch list.
Yeah.
So we know it's happening.
If I told you that I'm an illegal immigrant, would you want them to kick me out?
Yes.
See? So this just shows you how my race is such a bad roll of the dice. You know what I'm saying? So me being, you just said you want me out of this country because I'm
You said if you were illegally here.
I'm an illegal Negro is what you're saying. So that I understand that.
You know, people, sometimes I got to wonder how the hell we became friends.
Exactly. How do blacks and whites become friends? That's my whole point.
Well, that's the whole point of the show, isn't it?
No, but in all seriousness, though, I didn't realize because of that very interesting distinction, illegal. I understand that. Prior to that, I just didn't even think of it because it just sounded like discrimination. But when you talk about illegal, there's a lot inside of that word. There's a lot of danger inside of that.
And here's another side of it that most people don't think about. I think that we're part of the problem is that we're trying to solve the wrong problem. Republicans, of course, are saying, hey, shut the border down, tighten it up. Okay, fine and dandy. However, why are people coming here in the first place? If this country is so terrible, why are we attracting hundreds of thousands of people every year, if not a million, close to a million? There's something here that they want, which means there's something here that's good. And a lot of times it's work. Now, in theory, you cannot get a job unless you're here legally or a U.S. citizen. You go to apply for a job, or when you get hired on, you have to give them a social security number and some form of ID, such as a birth certificate or driver's license. It's illegal for a company to hire somebody who's not here legally. Yet, all these people keep streaming in and they find work. If we simply enforced all the labor laws that we have on the books right now, we would cut that illegal immigration probably by 2/3 because people couldn't survive up here. But no, they come in, they get work that they're not entitled to. And I'm not saying they're stealing jobs. They're not stealing jobs. It's companies wanting to hire people who are willing to work for less money than anyone else. It's companies exploiting these people. But they come up, they get their services, everything else, and that's what upsets me when it comes to, I see all of the benefits that illegal aliens receive, and then I see a relative handful in relative numbers of homeless vets that get nothing. Not to mention all the other homeless people we have who are in desperate need of mental care.
Yeah, I would. Yeah.
So I'm going to say, once again, take care of our own people first. And when it comes to illegal immigration, address the whole problem. And this has been a problem since the 50s. It's nothing new.
Is there a real way to control people coming in and out of the country when it's such a wide net? You have to cast such a wide net to be able to corral them.
Well, if it wasn't such a large flood, yeah. But there's a large flood because it's attractive. There's nothing to lose by them coming in. They're not worse off. But once again, if they could not get work, if they could not get freebies everywhere, then there's nothing here for them to come to.
That makes sense. That makes total sense.
So, I mean, address the real problem. And of course, we also have the situation with what's known as birthright citizenship. Anyone who's born in this country is a U.S. citizen. So, an illegal comes into the country, they have children, those children are now U.S. citizens, and then they can, over time, or going through various steps, now their parents become legal.
Wow. You know what? This kind of gives me another segue. The Blonde Bombshell was talking about this. So, should women get drafted if there's a war? And that is the addendum to a woman president, because why or why not is always debatable, you know. And if women get drafted, should the people that's claiming to be women get drafted as women since they won't be? In other words, you know, the Blonde Bombshell is talking about the transgender variety, the ones that want to be.
Well, let's see. Maybe as a kid, I would say that women should not be drafted, but I would say ever since my 20s, I'm going to say, yeah, draft women too. Women want to be equal? Great. They're equal. You're drafted. I've got no problem with equality. But equal means equal.
Yeah, equal. That means that I don't want to see you sit down urinating. I want to see you standing up. You know, I mean, that's kind of kinky too. But seriously, though, I mean, should there be a woman president?
I believe that's called water sports.
Yeah, that's hot. Now that is so hot, and literally, actually, it's very hot down there. But yeah, you're right. So
should a woman be president?
Yeah.
Okay. The number one argument against it, invariably, maybe not spoken out loud, but it's always the unspoken joke, is that you don't want a woman in charge of the button when she's on her period. When it's that time of month and they're suffering, no, a woman isn't going to be in complete control of her faculties. Bullshit.
Well, first of all, people, I understand the humor in it. I appreciate the joke. But by the time women are presidents, they don't even have periods. You know, I mean, think about it. Hillary Clinton would not have had a period.
Yeah, and think about it, just to carry that thought a little bit further. Suppose you do have a woman president who can either who can have periods or is having hot flashes. If you're a foreign leader who doesn't like us, do you really want to risk pissing off a woman like that?
Oh yeah, they can be very vindictive. Seriously. I got so many bruises on me. I just tell people, "Oh, these are 35-year-old hickeys."
No, I can't buy into any argument against it. It's all horse crap.
Yeah, I don't think there's anything wrong with it. You know, women can be anything. Women can be anything. You want them to be empowered because they're no different than anybody. As a matter of fact, they may actually be smarter and be more pragmatic with things. Who knows? You know.
Well, hey, the country survived its first the first known black president.
Yeah, we don't know what all of them had in their trousers. We don't know who was black and who wasn't.
Actually, I think was it Hoover that they said might have black heritage?
No, I think they said Hoover had black hair, not heritage.
No, there's one of the presidents in the early 20th century that supposedly had some black heritage, and of course, Bill Clinton is often referred to as the first black president with his policies.
Yeah, Clinton actually got a lot whiter when he left the White House. He really did, because when he was in the White House, he was palling it up with all the black people. He was dapping up Arsenio Hall in 1992 when he was running, and then by the time he even was rooting for Michael Jordan's return in 1995. But by the time 2008 came, he actually was talking about in response to Obama running for president in 2008. I'll never forget Clinton did a town hall meeting and he said, "This guy is a fairy tale." He said, "If this was 50 years ago, he'd be serving all of us lunch." That's what he said. I was like, wow. I was like, wow, Clinton in 92, when he needed the black vote, was way different than the one in 2008. I tell you what, if I was a white guy running for president and I needed the black vote, I would say, listen, Colt 45 for everybody.
Oh,
That's what I would say. That's what I would say. And then I would say free Sanford and Son DVDs. I would say that. That's how you get the black vote, okay? But Clinton reverted back to his white vote after the White House.
and these stereotypes, that's exactly what they are. I mean, the moment you say Coke 45, everybody knows what you're talking about.
Billy D. Williams as a product spokesman. I'm sorry, Billy D. Williams, but you're wearing tuxedos. I don't think you're drinking Coke 45. Oh man, I don't know.
Well, that's just like white trailer trash with their. Well, it used to be Bud Light. Who knows what they're drinking now? They're probably drinking Coors.
I love Coors, so I guess I'm a white boy. But listen, there's a movie you got to see. It's called Gran Torino. It's got Clint Eastwood in it. It came out about 15 years ago or so. I'm telling you,
Love that movie.
Yeah, Clint Eastwood is badass. You know why I bring it up? Because he was drinking Pabst Blue Ribbon in that movie
Yep.
consistently, and he was so badass that me and my we for the next 3 months all we drank was Pabst Blue Ribbon, which we hated it. But for me, it made me look like I was Clint Eastwood. You know. So I'm telling you, Clint Eastwood could do no wrong. Even when he was talking to that chair, remember that chair he was talking to for like 30
Yeah, the empty chair.
Yeah. As a matter of fact, when it comes to women in their underpants, I like mine dirty hairy.
Folks, like I said, when it comes to trivia, Deontay is a wealth of information, but of course he's also some 30 years younger than I am, or at least 25 years younger than I am.
No, that's
He hasn't done enough drugs yet, or had enough scotch to lose his memory like I have.
Yeah, my drug of choice is Reese cups.
Well, I'll tell you what, we're hitting that half-hour mark, which is supposed to be our imposed time limit. I want to thank those who showed up. Tim, thank you very much.
Yes.
Alice came in here, you said.
Yeah.
Thank you, Alice.
And thanks for all the people who are watching this in replay. You might be watching this on next Tuesday, and we appreciate you too.
Yep.
This is
please look us up. Yeah,
Oh,
please
look,
look us up on YouTube.
Hey, the Blonde Bombshell, she just logged in. Well, that's
All right, cool.
Wow,
Yeah,
that's cool.
But find us on YouTube, White to the Point. Hit the like, hit subscribe, ring the bell, and eventually we might get a retirement fund going. I'm Boomer Jim.
And I am Gen X Deontay.
And we are out of here.